Hello everybody and welcome to my channel Learn Python with Ananya. So I have already uploaded videos for string and lists and some basic Python operations and functions. So today we will be doing tuples. It's a very small topic and it's almost kind of like lists only. So if you know what lists are and if you know the operations which we can perform on lists and the functions related to lists, then it will be very easy. So let's move on. First of all, uh, like we discussed that lists are enclosed within square brackets. So tuples are enclosed within round brackets. So this is the major difference of tuple. And more or like tuples are same as lists only. There's some few differences which we'll discuss. So first is creating a tuple using tuple constructor. So there are ways of there are different ways of creating a list. Same way there are different ways of creating a tuple. One of them is using tuple constructor. So if you remember, we also had a list constructor which was list and brackets. And this way only we have tuple brackets. So it is possible to use tuple constructor to create a tuple. So let's suppose that T is a tuple. Okay, so like this, and if there's nothing inside the bracket, that means it's an empty tuple. Okay, and if I write tuple enclosed in a, and if I write tuple enclosed in a bracket, then it is like we have some values in the tuple. There is something. So there are different ways of making a tuple, and like suppose if I write a tuple is like a list of numbers, like it's a list. But the only difference is that in list we use square brackets and in tuple we use round brackets. So tuple can be like suppose there's a variable t and it's a tuple. So I can, if I write anything within this, so I don't have to specify it. The type will be always tuple. Anything which is separated, value separated by commas and enclosed within curly brackets, curly round brackets or parentheses is a tuple. So there's nothing we have to specify in this. It is a tuple. So now if you want to construct a tuple, like if I directly write this, then it is a tuple only. But still, if I need to construct a tuple or if I want to transform a list or a string into a tuple, so we can use tuple constructor. That is, you have these brackets already. There is nothing uh, I have to specify in it. So you have these brackets. See, these brackets remains the same. And anything you write within these brackets is a tuple, or it will change the identity or type of that value. It can be string or list into a tuple. So this is what tuple constructor does. Then these are a few examples. Here we are transforming a tuple into a tuple. It doesn't make any sense, but still it's just to explain. And then here, this is a list. See, hello is a list. So if I write it within these brackets and if I write tuple, then it will be converted into tuple and it separates all the elements like this. See, H, E, L, L, and all these letters are transformed as one single different individual elements of the tuple. I can write if I can write two entries also. So this is a tuple. Anything which is within brackets is a tuple. So to make you more clear, we can do an example also. If I write t is equal to, and if I write anything inside brackets, suppose with string and numbers, everything. And if I write print type t, I want to print the type of t. And if I run this, see, tuple. The type is tuple. So anything which is within round brackets is a tuple. Then the first operation which we have to understand, it's the same which was in case of strings and index also. The indexing, or sorry, list also, that is indexing, that you each entry or each element in the tuple has a unique index, and the indexing starts from 0 and it goes on to infinity. And this is forward indexing. For backward indexing, the last element of the tuple, see this is a tuple query, the last element is denoted as -1 and the first element is denoted the index of 0. So this is the same which we did in lists also. And if we want to access a tuple, then it's again the same way which we did in list. So if I want, this is a tuple alpha, and if I want to access alpha and in square brackets, I write 5. So I want to index the element at the fifth index. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at the fifth index, the element is y and we get the output as y. Similarly, if I write alpha and square brackets, I write -4. Then the fourth element from the back, -1, -2, -3, -4. This letter E is going to be printed. So it's the same concept as it was in list, nothing different. Then traversing a tuple, which is again the same way. Like if I want to print all the elements of the tuple in a order, one by one. So this is a tuple alpha, and these are the elements of the tuple. And if I write for I in alpha, this is how we do traversing, we all know. For I in alpha, print I. So first it will print Q, then W, then E, R, T, Y. This is the output. There's another method. We can use range also. For I in range 0 to len alpha. Len alpha, as we did in lists also, it gives us the length of the tuple. So len alpha, here the length is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 elements. The length is 6. So it will run from 0 to 6. You can also see my video for and while loop, which I have already covered in one of my videos to understand this better. Then we have some more functions such as len and max, min, index. So these were the same which were in lists also, and we use them in tuple as well. So len we just discussed. It gives us the length of the tuple, the total number of elements in the tuple. Max gives us the maximum the tuple, any element, like if it's numbers, it gives us the maximum number or the maximum length. So if I write max subject, then it will be physics. So then, so now it is possible when we are, we can find the maximum or minimum value when we are comparing elements of the same data type. If I have all numbers, it's going to give the maximum or the minimum number. When we are comparing these like letter words like Hindi, English, maths, physics, so it gives us physics as the maximum because P comes at the end, so it gives the highest number. Like it classifies them using going one by one to the spelling. And minimum, again it is going to give like English, E comes first compared to H, M and B, so it gives minimum. But if we are comparing elements of different data types, like I have numbers as well as words, then it's going to give an error because you cannot see, this is the type error that is not supported between instances of str and int. So str is this, maths, English, these are str strings, and int is these numbers, so it's going to give an error. Then we have index. Index gives us the index or the it gives the index at which the particular element is present. We discussed it. So these are the very important operations which are used in almost, like if you are writing a program or something, then these are quite frequently used. And then we have count. It counts the number of elements. Like if I write subject is my tuple dot count English, so it's going to count the number of times this element English has occurred in the tuple. So in the tuple it is only once, so it will give us 1. If it's coming twice or thrice, it's going to give the value as per that. Then we have tuple packing and unpacking. So like the name suggests, packing is combining the elements, okay, or creating a tuple using different elements. And unpacking is breaking a tuple into individual elements. So if I write like this, T is equal to, and I write a tuple, And if I say print t, it's going to give me the tuples to combine all these elements together and give us a tuple. If I write a comma b comma c is equal to t, now this a b c are different elements. So if I'm denoting all these as equal to t, then it's going to assign different values. Like this was my t, so a is going to get the value as 45. If I say print a, it's going to print 45. If I say print b, it's going to give me 78. If I say print c, it's going to give me 22. So it is dividing or creating individual values from the elements of tuple. We can also write it like this. See, if this is my tuple and I write t is equal to a comma b comma c or any other variables, and if I print these one by one, print a, sorry, print a, just, and I write print b and I write print c. So it's going to give the value 23 to a, 5 to b, and this value hello to c. And if we run the module now, I'm sorry, you have to write it like this. Now this is again a mistake. First we write what values and what we are denoting it to. This is how we write it. Now it has given the values. See 23, 5 and hello. See, this was a mistake. We cannot write t equal to a comma b comma c because first we write the values and then we write first we write the variable and then we write the values. Like we write x is equal to 5, right? We don't write 5 is equal to x. So just like that, first we write the variables. These are variable a, b, c, and that. If I instead of t, I write something like I write a tuple itself, then it's going to give those values. See, a, the value of a is 4, b is 6, and c is 7. Then I hope this is clear. Then we have deleting a tuple. How do you delete a tuple? So example, if we have a tuple, this is a tuple, and if I write del t3, so it is going to give a type error because tuple doesn't support item deletion. You cannot delete one item from the tuple. You can delete the complete tuple using del because del function is not used for deleting an individual element from the tuple. It is used for deleting the whole tuple. So if I write this is my tuple and I write del t, then if I print t, it is saying it was going to say like name error, name t is not defined because that tuple doesn't exist anymore. It is deleted. So tuples are immutable and we cannot update a tuple. This is another note. It is not related to this, but this is a very important note that tuples are immutable. We discussed what are mutable and immutable elements which cannot be updated. You cannot change. If I want to see this is a tuple and if I want to change that I want instead of 4, I want 6. You cannot update it. You can delete or you can add, but you cannot update the element. You cannot like substitute this element or add something to this element. I cannot do add 1 to all these elements. That's not possible because then tuples are immutable. So this was all. It was a really small topic. So if you like the video and if you understood each concept, then please do like, share, subscribe and comment on my channel. If you have any doubts, you can leave a comment, and you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. These are the sites. Thank you so much.